tonight with the one and only Stone Shew. I mean, if you're on Facebook, if you're interested in rain gutters, how can you not? How can you miss this guy? You can't. This guy's all over the place. He's doing his thing. It's only fitting that I make the time and beg him to get on my podcast here to have a quick chat about who he is, what he's doing, and how he's carving his way in the gutter world. Stone, welcome.
I appreciate you having me, Frank.
100%, man. I've been watching you. I see what I like about you the most. I got to be honest. What I like about you the most is you're brutally honest with an audience that a lot of people you don't even really truly know on a personal level. You hang it all out there, which is super cool. But you have bad days and good days. And when you have good days, you celebrate them and you champion them. And I think that's awesome. And then when you have bad days, you're completely honest about it. You know, you might have a tire fly off a trailer or a job goes sideways or whatever. You're honest about it. You put it out there because I could tell you have a champion, warrior mindset. And I'm guessing here, but in your mind, you're saying, whatever, I had a shit day, doesn't matter. I'm going to overcome. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to get right behind it, get after it, and we'll fix things tomorrow. Am I right with that?
Absolutely. Authenticity.
Yeah.
Is a thing, and you're not going to go anywhere if you don't take that next step after adversity. If you let it fold you, that's failure there. So,
how's business going?
Amazing.
Good.
Ever since took on leadership, the accountability of being the owner, extreme ownership. You're facing your non-negotiables head on. That's the key, man. You can keep putting it off to everyone, but at the end of the day, it starts right here.
So 4 years in, tell the audience out there, because a lot of guys are in that first year sweet spot, or they're 2, 3, 4 years in like you are. What are the milestones that you have hit? Things are going excellent. What are the bigger or the biggest milestones you've hit in business? If you could share that with the audience.
So year one, you've kind of got that, you've got the vision, and you're starting to get off the ground and you're starting to see some success, and you're highly focused on that. And you're not thinking about what's to come. You want to get money and you want to be successful, get the job, do the job, get the check. And that's kind of it. We reached 200K first year. Thought it was amazing. Thought it was the shit. Hey, let's go to GutterCon. Let's go see some guys. And
Sure.
So year two, boom, adversity hit. You're trying to your next step for me was I want to get to $500,000 revenue.
Sure.
And you're so locked in on getting that revenue that you just see the high dollar sign. You don't pay attention to business side of things. You don't pay attention to what you're actually taking home. You just see that big dollar sign and like, yeah, I'm making $500,000. Year three comes around, boom, here we are. All of a sudden we've had countless days in the wintertime where we were ready to give up. Lots of nights you're crying yourself to sleep sometimes because might need to get a job. You might have to fold everything. People aren't paying. People sue you. And you just you got to keep going. And here we are into year three, hitting 1.5 mil, which was the greatest accomplishment to date.
Wow. Good job, man.
But with that came here in these last 3 to 4 months is when I turned to business and not so much the field and figured out my numbers. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah. It's hard to get into the numbers. I find that most guys, not that they're not capable of it, but you're running so hard in the beginning. You don't want to look at that. You just want to stack on the front side, top end, and try to just bring in volume. And then you're like, I'll fix it on the backside. It's very common. It's very normal and human to do it that way. In fact, what is there to fine tune and tweak until you have volume anyway, right? Like
100%.
You got to have money coming in, then you're going to refine it and trim the fat. But those numbers are excellent. Congratulations. It sounds like you're really grinding. I know you are. I see it. What you said adversity, what did you hit? What kind of adversity did you hit? What kind of pitfalls are you dealing with?
You're paying out $5 to $10 grand a week in labor. Your supply company bills up to 30,000, and your accounts receivable is at 80 grand, and you've got $2 in the bank account, and you're pulling from your personal account to pay the guys.
Yeah.
And next week is mortgage and electricity and the car payments and the insurance and everything. And you're constantly always feeling behind. Your customers want you to come back because the guys messed something up. You're having a flat tire, the truck breaks down. I mean, and everything's falling down on you.
Yep.
And you're just ready to simply give up. I remember, I know for sure 4 times I have been in my room, sitting in my chair. My mom walks in. I'm not even acknowledging my son. She's like, "What's wrong?" And I'll just start bawling, crying, man. I'm ready to give up. Fuck this shit. This, and this. And she's
That's
like,
it. Only 4 times.
yeah, and they were hard. They were hard. They were sleeping for 2 days straight in the wintertime because it was that bad. And
Yeah, man.
you're
But tell me if I'm wrong. Do you not need to get to that place multiple times until you really know truly what you're doing? You know yourself, you know your limits, you know all the mistakes you could make so that you don't do that XYZ again. You don't touch that hot pan. You have to get to that level of disparity and pain to really know where you need to stay away from. It's like driving down the street and driving through a pothole until you learn to lean to the left when you get to that spot in the road. You need to know the road innately with your eyes closed, and it takes a lot of potholes, a lot of bent rims until you get that innate feeling.
learning what not to do.
Well, God bless, dude. I mean, I've been there a million times, and that's the worst feeling in the world. But I look back and I hang my hat on. I'm who I am, and I'm capable of what I'm capable of because I've let myself go to those extremes. I've gone 12 rounds getting punched in the face like that. It makes me the man I am. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't do that and I didn't take the pain and keep coming back for more. So you're on the right path. I mean,
Stay the course.
yeah.
Everything after that too. It just seems like the milestones always come right after that. It's cliche to say, but
No, it's so true.
It's facts. You ride that moment out, that 1 week, that 1 month, that 2 months. You ride it out, and on the other side of that, you have so much clarity, so much knowledge and wisdom on where not to go and what not to do.
Totally.
That puts you right in that position of that next opportunity that you deserve.
2 analogies in that realm, right? It's like they say it's always darkest before the light.
Mm-hmm.
And then, most people quit right before the big hit, right before success, right before the win. They just can't bear it and they give up. And it's so true. It's so true. So let's talk about not giving up and being a champion, because that's another thing about you. And this is what I've seen the most about you lately is you're on this fitness quest, this vision quest. I see you riding a bike and wearing weighted vests and jumping around the gym, and you got your shirt off all the time. Holy cow, man! What kind of you're putting it out there, brother? What's going on the fitness side?
Yeah, the motto, move like a cat, eat like a dog. That's I've always been. I've never been the strongest. I've never been the fastest. But when it comes down to it, I am fast and I am strong, and that a lot of people don't have.
I like that.
And really just staying on top of things. I feel like this last year and a half, 2 years, I started focusing on the health and fitness side of things, not only physically, but in the kitchen, in the gut. That drives performance, and I've noticed my business start to take off more now that I'm in tune with myself.
Sure.
So being in the kitchen, being in the gym has not only kind of cleared the vision, but also put me in the position to be able to just, keep grinding, keep the motor turning.
So where are we going with this overall? What are you trying to do here? You trying to take over the state? You want to go multi-state? Like, what is the big vision?
So gutters, man, take over the state. It's the whole state. I don't think that out of state or franchising this thing is the next step. The service-based industry is amazing, but we lucked out, man. It's gutters. It's gutters. There is no industry better than gutters. I will say it right now. I've seen the back end and the front end of all the other businesses, and I promise there's nothing. We have the gold mine. So I want to stick to it. I want to master this area, take over. And the next step, man, is helping people physically and, mentally, emotionally.
Wow, man, very deep and mature of you for your age, and I don't say that with any kind of sarcasm. You're 25, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty deep for a 25-year-old to be on that level. That's some like 35, 40-year-old guy stuff, I mean, good for you. But that's where your bread is buttered, right? It's
100%, 100%. I've always had that ability. Call it a superpower. Is I'm able to connect to so many different types of people. I've always had that aura to me when I walk in the room that all eyes are on me. So I've been down the bad paths. I've done all the bad things. I've been it, done it, seen it, and it didn't feel good on my heart. I knew it wasn't right for me. Thankfully, I got off the path and focused up in the right way. But now I see what kind of influence and impact I can have on people. So
that's deep.
Not only the blue collar, the business owner side of things on personal development and trying to grow other people's lives in business, health, finance, all that fun stuff. But the kids, man, I get back to the kids more than I post on Facebook, more than any of that. I really do. It is for the kids, and I'm looking to start a nonprofit here this next year with giving I haven't decided yet exactly what it is, but some sort of linear footage, X 10 cents or 50 cents.
Awesome.
So not only that, but training kids out there, get them on the wrestling mat, get them in the weights. And
so you have a wrestling background?
Yeah, wrestled. Not like I have a baseball background, but kindergarten to about fifth grade wrestled, and then I had to switch it, or sixth grade, and I had to switch it up before junior high to go to baseball.
Sure. Oh, so baseball was your big sport coming out of high school?
It's actually football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So our game is very apropos then.
Absolutely.
What position did you play?
Safety, wide receiver.
Okay, so you got some speed?
Yeah. No fly zone. Got the hands.
So with the training element, I know we touched on it. You're working with a trainer on the fitness side. Is he also a dietitian, or this is a combo deal?
Yeah.
You got a business coach. You're tapping in on all cylinders, right?
Oh, 100%. We're $150,000 deep in personal development right
now. Wow, no kidding.
Yeah. It's dead ass serious. I actually just got accepted into Arte Syndicate, which is Andy Frisella, Ed Milet's group of, their mastermind. And I actually just got accepted into First Form, being a brand ambassador for them as well.
Very cool. Congrats. Tell us about that. What does that entail?
So brand ambassador, I'll get their merchandise, their apparel, their supplements. I live off that shit. So to be able to post it on social media, rep the brand, and also be able to inform people. He's got us set up on the class that I'm doing continued education every week, and getting knowledge in nutrition, supplements, and workouts.
All right, tell me right now, what'd you eat today? It's I'm on ET. I'm on Eastern time. It's 7:15 my time. It's 6:15 back at your place. What did you eat start to finish today, from the minute you woke up to right now?
So I've been tracking 2,300 calories. I'm actually sitting at 1,650 right now. We had 6 hard-boiled eggs in the morning with a banana at 8:30. 10 a.m. was...
Nobody's walking behind you at midday.
Yeah. 10 a.m. was Greek yogurt, 7 ounces, 6 ounces of cantaloupe, and 6 ounces of watermelon with 2 cups of pecans and 1 banana. And then skipped down to our lunch at 12, which was 2 cups of classic romaine, balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of guacamole, and a 5-ounce salmon. And then my pre-workout was a banana and a scoop of peanut butter. And then I've got dinner in about an hour. That's
Dude,
6 ounces of chicken and
dude. I,
vegetables.
I tell you what, man, I used to eat like a horse. I couldn't even think of eating half of that. I couldn't get it in. I just can't get it in. My stomach digests so much slower now at my age.
So I'm
And
also on a, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, certainly, the more you fire up the metabolism, the more you digest, but things do change as you get older. That's
Yeah.
a lot of that. I mean, calorie wise, it's not a ton, but volume wise, that's quite a bit
Well,
of eating,
yeah.
right?
And that's the healthy calories are the hardest to get, you know?
You're right.
So
How long you been eating like that?
3 weeks now. 3 weeks on this. I'm actually on a fresh. I'm on a had a 5-day cleanse, and I'm right smack dab in the middle of a 30-day detox oral.
Nice. So what's your height and weight?
5'10". I just dropped down to one. I'm seeing the 170s. I'm 179 right now. I'm starting.
Ah, so what's goal? What you got? Like, you trying to hit a certain weight or body fat percentage, or what are you shooting for?
Body fat down to 4 or 5%.
Damn.
Carb down, get to like probably it's looking like 165, and then he's gonna put me on a clean bulk.
So you're managing this, you're managing business, and you're managing personal growth and coaching. You got a lot on your plate, brother.
Hey, I got little man. Little man's actually in the room over. I stuck him on the iPad.
Is he with you full time?
50-50.
Okay. All right, cool. Mom's local. You got a good thing going?
40 minutes away. It is a very good thing. We're solid, no court, none of that.
Good.
Everything's solid, great relationship. She's just a little far. But
Yeah. I'm married. I'm married twice. I'm on my second marriage. I have a kid.
thankfully, I'm in a position I can cater to her. You know, I can make her life easier.
That's great.
If I got to drive, I'll drive.
That's great. I like that 50-50. But man, and then throw the kid in the mix. That's a lot of tight scheduling. A lot of activity, my friend. And you're managing it mentally, huh?
Oh yeah.
And you get out too. I mean, I see you're social. You'll travel and have a boys trip or a date night or whatever. You're getting out. You're balancing it all, huh?
I'm headed to Colorado next weekend to go ski again.
Sweet. You were just out there, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago?
Yep.
Awesome. Good for you. That's what you should be doing. That is balance, right? Balance is not easy to find, but striving for that. It can make you insane, though. Trying to make all these magical things happen at once is like, you got to be Houdini. But, it all starts with a clear mind. If you don't have a clear mind, forget it. You can't get half this stuff done.
100%.
All right, man. So you're popping on things. Let me get to my questions. Let's dive into this. I'm going to hit my 4 downs with the ball, and we're going to learn a lot more about you with my questions. All right. Number 1, back to the mission. Clearly, you've been on a mission. I mean, it's very obvious to the audience. I totally love your passion. That's why you're here, by the way. You stand out, right? You definitely are an outlier. You're putting a lot of energy out. You're working on yourself. You're hanging it out there. But it's not just all about wins. Like, you're showing us L's, right? You're a real guy. I like that. What is the mission specifically? This is my question. What are you chasing? I kind of touched on it a second ago, but let's just get back to it from the jump. What is your mission overall?
I would say impact.
Impact.
Getting people on the right path, keeping them away from the bad stuff. But really, the biggest deal would be for me would be the kids with no dads.
Wow, man, you're deep. This is great.
That's where I would say probably 80-90% of men just they fall off. No guidance, no father figure, none of that, to keep them straight. And I learned that through my son. He doesn't listen to anyone, but when he hears my voice, he cracks down. And I've got buddies that don't have dads. I've got people in my life who don't have, and you can just tell there's a discrepancy there on if they had a father figure. And it really just starts with influence with the kids. But I would say I find enjoyment, and there's something in me that feels I need to be on the stage speaking at a high volume
Okay.
of people, getting them motivated, helping them get disciplined, helping them dial in their core values, their vision, and focus up.
Sure.
It's
Wonderful.
deeper
So
than
I mean, I threw that question out there. You could have answered it any which way. I thought it was going to be a business answer. You skip right over that. You're talking about some big picture life stuff. This is deep, man. All right, let me go on to my second down here. You're brutally honest with pitfalls and mistakes, and like I said, you're not afraid to hang it all out there. What currently are your biggest business obstacles, and what are you doing to overcome them?
biggest business obstacles right now. Here recently, I would say this is the fresh biggest one. I had a quote unquote in-house bookkeeper slash CFO. I've been through two of them in the last 6 months and thought I knew my numbers. And here in this last month and a half is when I stepped back and took it head on, picked up the spreadsheet and just started running with it. Never ran a spreadsheet in my life, never entered data. The office lady wasn't operating the CRM correctly in order to populate data for us in order to generate this correctly, and our numbers were off. So I wasn't able to. I had nothing. I had just
Ugh.
piss and play. Let's go hang some gutters and look forward to the next day. And now that I've here in this last 6 months of investing into business coaches and personal development and all that stuff, they've got me away from having the mindset of gutters is the product and business is the real product.
Right.
So bulletproofing your business and turning that into the product to present to anyone that may come along, that not that I would ever exit, at least here soon anyways, but get it prepared to.
So the obstacle was not knowing the numbers, and you already have taken steps to. Are you in the
Oh, I know my
process
numbers
of?
now. I damn sure know November and December we're dialed in every single
Yeah.
day. I'm running them. And also another thing would be coming up on slow season. It's inevitable. You every company will, regardless if they're slow or not making any money, they'll see a 2 month window where they are slowing down and puckered up a little bit, due to weather. And my hardest thing is firing. Firing's the most difficult thing. You've got people that rely on you to put food on their family's plates, and you have to make that tough conversation with them that, hey,
Right.
I've got to hunker down, and what you've shown me over these last couple of months, I've got to take him over you because he follows through more and aligns with our core values and core vision and focus more than you do. Unfortunately, that's a tough conversation.
Brutal. Yeah. I'll tell you, that was definitely one of the harder parts of coming up, was trying to overcome the winter, figure out those slow months, how to keep guys busy, how to keep gas in the tank on my side. Right, you get real tight on money, especially
Yeah,
when you're new in business and you don't have credit. You don't have anything to lean on.
100%.
Absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So third down, back to the little guy. See, you have a little guy. I know you're not with your baby mama. What is the story behind that? I'm nosy because I have my own story, right?
Oh, brother, that's a
You
good
put
one.
you put the little guy out there a lot, as you
Yeah,
should.
man, he is my whole world. He's what makes the wheels turn for sure. When I found out I was having him, that was just a complete, world shocker. I've
How old is
actually
he now?
he's 3, just turned 3.
So what we're doing here is we're talking to the guys out there that are in the same situation you're in the same situation I was. My oldest is 11 now, but we do these things, right? We're men, and these things happen, and life goes on and does business. And how do we make it all work?
Yeah, yeah. She was actually a one night stand. That was a Tinder date.
No kidding.
Yeah, went and saw her at the old dorm in her college. and knocked on the door and knocked her down, and we
Knocked her down.
here we are. Honestly, though, with all the other doors I was knocking on, so to speak, this was the best door that I could have ever, came out like this on.
Yeah, giddy up, man.
Yeah, she's a rock star. She's brilliant. She cares. She's got a great heart. She's not that crazy. I'm not gonna say she's not crazy, but
No comment on my side.
she's an amazing woman. She's a great mom, and there's no court. It's just a 50-50 split. She gets them when she gets them.
Good on you guys. Great.
So it's a world changer for sure. It makes it a lot easier because I've heard of situations that are,
Yeah, no, man, it gets brutal. It can be. My ex-wife was pregnant 3 months after I met her, so not far off, and we divorced when my daughter was a year and a half. So it wasn't meant to be. I got a beautiful kid out of it. She's a smart kid. I love her to death, and I'm happy for that. Me and her mom don't get along, but I got a real winner out of it. So I mean, life is crazy in this sense. There's a lot of twists and turns, and for the guys out there that are in situations, I mean, you take umbrage. There's other guys out here like us. This is reality. This is life, especially now, right? Like in this day and age, with Tinder and all these, and I mean,
the exposure, man, the exposure,
so fast and quick, and
it's a big thing. It's hard to it's as a man being really just on social media. You've got so much exposure. There's so many variables that can throw you off course and off focus. That can, I mean, you can get lost in the sauce, man.
Oh, 100%, man, 100%. That's why that's why I'm impressed. At 25, you have all of this clarity. It's great. I didn't have it at 25. I'll tell you that much. I did not, and I could talk for days on that. But I have some more football to play. So I'm on my fourth down here. Last possession, and I'll turn the ball over. What's one piece of advice you would impart the new guy with? Maybe it's someone in their first year of business. It could be any kind of business. But let's say a first-year gutter guy, second-year gutter guy, the new guy. What are Stone Shew's tips and insights for the new guy?
That's a good question. I would say for all the bad things that I've got, the moments where I was just ready to fold, those were the things I took away from that were probably what I would recommend. And that would be, number one, you got to keep going. You committed to it. You got to keep going. You will not go anywhere in life if you give up on what you set yourself out to do. Times are going to get hard. Everyone's going to quit on you. You're going to fire everyone. You might even get sued. You might be in debt a shit ton. But if it's what you set out to do, you've got to keep going. Face the adversity one foot in front of the other. You will get out of it. It's crazy. It's a miracle if you just work hard and keep on going.
Hell yeah.
The things that you can accomplish. Two, which is, I feel like, is just detrimental to figuring it out sooner than later, because here we are about to start year 4. And if someone were to come to me and say, hey, let's look at your business, I don't have a net profit, gross profit material. I have no percentages to anything that I have done these last 3 years, other than 3 months ago for this year, but that's nothing. So thankfully I got it figured out on year 3, because I know most guys, a lot of people, women in the industry never figure it out. And it's just, you got to figure it out, man. And there's so many resources out there and so many people that can give you the information. You just have to want it, because it is the easiest thing to avoid. It's the easiest thing to put off, because there's so many other things in business that you can do. But you got to quit fearing it. It's really just a fear to.
So what do you recommend they do? What do you think? What's your best advice? I mean, I would say a coach is not necessarily.
No, I mean
Where
it's
would you send them? Where would you tell them
I
to go
would
get
I
this?
would say so for me, which this is literally my first spreadsheet I've ever made, and I'm all of a sudden figuring out formulas and punching in numbers, but it's as simple as have your supply company email you an invoice for the job materials. Just write down in the first column job name and job number if you have one. Plug in your materials, your total revenue ticket of the job, how much you paid in labor, and that's your main step right there. You can figure out um, your gross income, um, and then your gross profits, and then just start there. Just figure that out first, and then you can go and you can figure out your expenses. Some people might say otherwise, but you
Right.
at least got to dial in that GP. You got to know what, because you're gonna you're just it's not gonna go well if you just keep looking at that top dollar sign, because that top dollar sign is feeding your ego, and it makes you think you're making all this money when really you're not, and you'll
That's
end up
right.
getting caught up on taxes or caught up on debt, your cash flow. It's just there's a whole
What are you running for software?
Builder Prime. I bet I'm probably the only gutter company that runs Builder Prime. Not too many people have heard of it,
I don't
but
even know it. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
it's a cool CRM. We finally just started using it the way it should be used in order to populate data and all that fun stuff. Obviously, I don't know if you use Company Cam.
I do. Yep.
It's
A
amazing.
huge monthly bill on company cam. I have so many guys on that.
Yeah, you at least got to have Company Cam if you want to track and organize and be somewhat on your shit, because you can
Yep.
screenshot your supply company invoice and throw it in there. You can screenshot the estimate you sent to the customer and throw it in there, and
Sure.
you've got everything centrally located. The project, you text, I mean, you got it all there. And then QuickBooks. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you've got it's really just QuickBooks and Company Cam. Start there. You can do sending off estimates and invoice in QuickBooks to get by. That's how I started my business.
Well, that's great advice. I mean, was there trepidation? Were you kind of nervous about diving into the numbers when you did? Was there a little bit of a
Oh,
fear
absolutely,
factor?
absolutely. It was almost traumatizing.
It is. No, it is. It's scary as hell.
Yeah,
While we're on this topic, my little 2 cents on it is get a profit and loss statement, a P&L. Try to fill it out, complete it. Your QuickBooks, if you have a bookkeeper or even an accountant that's doing year end for you, if they're doing it the right way, if you go into QuickBooks and run a report and you do a monthly P&L, look at, print it out, look at it, study it. The first time you look at it, it's going to look like you're looking at Greek hieroglyphics, but once you start swimming in those numbers and all of those line items and really understand it, auto expenses and travel and fuel and labor and subcontractors are not on the same line as in-house labor, and materials and all of that. What you just keep playing with that spreadsheet, and as you familiarize yourself with it, it just kind of comes to you. It becomes second nature, and then how you derive at that number at the bottom line, right? Your net profit. And you just got to really, really just familiarize and play. Get a dummy P&L on a spreadsheet on Excel or Google Sheets, and just play with it and see how all the numbers and all the formulas affect one another. And then you get it, right. It's like this business is just this big system of gears and knobs, like gears in an engine, and one turns into the next. Marketing generates leads, and then leads connect with sales, and sales generates money, and it's just a big system of cogs. And once you get that, it all kind of makes sense to you. But it takes a while, and it sucks in the beginning, and you just gotta rip the band-aid off and go through, run the gamut, and figure it out.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
man. I'm turning the ball over. It's your turn. If you have questions, have at them. You got 4 downs. You can ask me anything. I'll do my very best to answer you.
Cool. Give me a sec. I'll pull them up.
Uh-oh. Should I be worried?
You might want to.
Oh, man.
This will be questions that I'll probably be asking myself in 20 years as well. Okay. So, as someone being in the industry for so long, when you first started, how did you patiently control your vision of being the top guy slash company by waiting your turn and accumulating enough knowledge to be able to present yourself as the top guy and retain the confidence that even though you are young, you can still fight with the best of them, and also keep yourself from growing too fast and not falling to the myth of Icarus. Icarus.
Icarus. All right. Yeah. Got too close to the sun and melted.
Mm-hmm.
Great question, man. I'll tell you what, it's different times now. It's different times now. When I was coming up back in 2003, we didn't have all of this. We didn't have any social pressure. I was basically operating in a vacuum. I knew what I wanted to do, what I needed to do. I was running a rain gutter business, but I had nobody to really compare myself to. I didn't have all this social media that you guys have now. I almost, in some respects, kind of almost feel bad for you guys because it's creating this undue pressure, the societal pressure to like look at me and look at the next guy, and people are out there thirst trapping and posing and putting out all this nonsense. So I'm killing it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, and it makes you feel some kind of way, and then you're feeling bad about your business. Back in the day, it sounds like I'm 90, but 2003, man, that was 21, 22 years ago. I was just in this vacuum. I didn't know what anybody else was doing. I was just doing me. I didn't really have that distraction. So I just ran as hard as I could. I was working 100-hour work weeks, no joke. I did that for over 10 years. Over 10 years. Very little restraint on any kind of balance in any of that. Just running hard. But I didn't have any worry about the next guy because nobody knew about each other. None of us knew about what the other guy was doing. It was all a mystery. You didn't know what the other company's revenues were. You just saw their trucks on the road or their yard signs or maybe ads they were running. So that was a benefit, I think. In hindsight, like it allowed me, well, it's double-edged sword. It allowed me to not get stressed out and not have to feel like I needed to keep up with the Joneses. But at the same time, I didn't have what you guys have by having exposure to the good guys that are willing to give you a peek under the dress, if you will, and show you what they're doing, how they're doing it. So I didn't get that level up. I didn't get that like cheat code.
The resources.
Yeah, there were no real resources. It was all old school business stuff. So, I mean, that was that for the time, crazy.
Yeah. Resources is a huge deal.
So true. I'm happy for you guys. This is amazing. You guys are racing and shaving off years that it took me to sort of self-teach and self-learn,
Yeah, that double-edged sword though is real. My first couple of years in business, I was caring about what the other guys were doing and who's doing what, and that only takes away from your business. So,
it occupies space in your brain too. It's like clouds the vision.
Clouds the vision. Absolutely. Well, cool. Number 2, second down here.
Sure.
What's the best way for you to determine when you need to hire and fire to track revenue per employee, confidently making database decisions to hire and fire?
Great question. 2 ways to answer that, or 2 pieces of analytics that I would be looking at heavily. One is lead time on production schedule. How far out am I booking? And then the other, of course, and most importantly, is by the numbers. A lot of guys don't get where we just talked about this, right? The guys don't understand their numbers. They don't get it. But the one thing they don't get the most is where they need to be on the sales side per foot, what they need to be selling per foot to make all those stupid gears I was talking about spin. You have the labor, you have the vehicles, you have the fuel and the engine, mechanical repairs. You have all of these expenses, and the balance, and then on the backside, the labor cost. What are you willing to pay? What does the market bear? If you're paying too little, nobody wants to work for you. So you really have to balance that out. I think you need to start with, what does it take to pay somebody? Quality. You want to retain somebody and make them show up with a smile. The guys that work for me, I have, a blend here. It's a hybrid. I have just a few guys that are on my payroll that are laborers. My drainage company, I have, multiple LLCs. I have 4 LLCs. One of them is my software company, but 2 of them are home improvement businesses. My Connecticut Gutter LLC, Connecticut Stormwater Authority LLC. Those 2 businesses, Gutter does not have any laborers. It's all front office, sales, office, administrative, and management. That's who's on payroll. There's 6 people on that payroll. Nobody's in the field laborer. On the drainage side, I do have 2. I had 3. I currently have 2. We'll probably go back to 3 in like March. That's the plan. And so those guys are out, and they're, I pay them well. I make sure I'm giving them money. Like I shit you not. I got a call Friday from my lead on the drainage. I have an inspection team. Those are my in-house guys. The big stuff you guys see me doing on digging and excavation and big drainage system installs, that I have a teaming agreement with a dedicated subcontractor. So they work for me every single day. I manage their crews. There's about 10 guys under my leadership, but they're big boys. They don't need me. I'm out there because it's my design build, but they're amazing. I just point and they shoot, and they don't need me. I'm there to, like, if I'm there for the customer to like smooth things over and keep things moving. They're real high ticket jobs. We do big stuff with that. But on the, I'm digressing. I got a call on Friday. We had our checks get cut every other week. So I put payroll in on Wednesday. Friday, they get the checks. He got his check first thing in the morning. It's auto deposit for every employee I have. And then he called me at like 3 in the afternoon, and he was like, "Hey man, my check was, was there a mistake?" He's like, "It was a lot more money than it normally is." I said, "No, we talked about this, and I have a deal with him where he gets a spiff, and depending on what we're doing." And he's just thrilled. He's like, "No, you good?" He's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm thrilled." Like, so to me, you got to find that sweet spot in every state, in every area in a state and county, and regions in my state of Connecticut. I need to pay a certain dollar amount for the cost of living where I am. And then if you travel 45 minutes away from me, cost of living drops. So you need to know what you need to pay somebody. Then off of that, you build your sales price. So like, in a business sense, you pick up a book on how you should price or where labor costs should lie. They should lie around 20 to 25% of your sticker price. So if you're selling at $14, $15 a foot, 20 to 25% of that should represent your labor costs. So let's say you have, $5,000 job, gutters, covers, whatever, that $5,000 consists of. About 1,000 to say 1,250 should be in labor. Okay, so if you're making those numbers, you have enough meat on the bone to pay for marketing, to pay for materials. By the way, materials falls around 15 to 20%. So, but you need to have margins, right? You're not taking 10, 20%. You need around 50, 55% gross margins so that you could make a living, you could run marketing. And that's, stuff we could talk about another time, but you should have a marketing budget. I'm blown away you're doing 1.5 mil on word of mouth. Again, if you had a small, modest, but dialed in marketing budget, you'd be killing it, dude. You hit that 2 million mark, no problem, and keep coasting. So to me, and I'm sorry for the long-winded answer, but it's 20 to 25% of what you can get in the marketplace. I can't tell you how many guys are like, "Well, I can't sell more than $7 a foot. Everybody else is getting $7 for 6K. Yeah, dare to be different. Go out there and hang a shingle, hang a sign that says you install it. Now, granted, if you're installing at $15 a foot, you better have damn good reason why you're so much more expensive than the next guy. But there's consumers that want that. There's consumers that show up at the Porsche dealership and want to buy a Porsche. They want to spend $150,000. There's guys that want to spend $15 a foot for your gutter, but they expect you to be a $15 a foot guy. You got to look the part. Yeah, you're in the gym, dude. You're eating that diet, right? You got all that swag. You got the uniforms, and the trucks look good, and the labor's, the quality of the install is good. You rise up to that $15 a foot. You give them what they want, and now you're the $15 a foot guy. Now you can pay the labor, and so the other part of your question is, when do you let them go, or when do how did you word that? What was that?
Confidently.
What to pay and when to.
Yeah. What to determine when to hire and fire to track revenue per employee confidently.
So yeah, that's why I mentioned lead time, right? So like, if you are nailing it at $15 a foot, your money's right, but you're out 2 months. I talked to some guys around the country. I'm out 4 months on production. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Hire more guys. If your pricing is right, which I guarantee their pricing is not right, that's the problem. But if it was, hire more guys now, immediately. You should be like 3 weeks out. Production should be around 2 to 3 weeks. That's healthy. A lot of guys get scared. It's not enough. But to me, it's like $15 a foot plus, that's plenty. 2 to 3 weeks, no problem. I'm making enough money that if after 3 weeks I have a 1 week slowdown, or it's Christmas or whatever, no problem. I made a lot of money. Every other damn week leading up to this. I could coast for a week between Christmas and New Year. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Cool.
Did that answer your question? Was that?
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. Cool. Absolutely. Third down.
Yes, sir.
In the young stages of entrepreneurship, there is no such thing as balance. You have to fully commit to building a business, as it's one of the hardest things to do on earth if done the right way. How did you refrain from getting lost in the sauce, caught up in the mix, and dismiss any and all rumors or words out there that were set out to tear you down?
Ooh, spicy question. Let me dissect this a little bit. Can clarify for me. Rumors and words out there to tear me down. Explain that a little more before I answer.
So for me, example,
yeah,
I've got 3 or 4 companies around here. They like to talk. They like to talk to the supply company. The supply company, everyone likes to think they're caught up with you and know everything about you. Yeah. With that comes guys leaving and going and joining the other team when they feel like the grass is greener on the other side.
Gotcha.
Because that's usually the closest. That's usually the next one that if they feel like they can relate to them, and they're ready to go experience that, then they're hopping over to the guys that you know. So with the supply company talking, hey, Frank's going broke. He had to let all of his guys go, or hey, Frank's not paying his bills and paying his guys. His guys are quitting on him, and
right?
Like that, stuff to just throw you off.
To me, I don't know how much damage lip service like that can do at the supply house or anywhere else. I mean, if you're paying your bills, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
You're paying a supply house, you're meeting your net 30, or hey, I don't know who's listening, but depends on the time. By the way, I'm for the people. So if you have a balance and it's winter, the suppliers will be okay. 100%. Don't pay them. Be a little slow. It's okay. You can get to it. When I have huge cash flow, I pay immediately. When I don't, you guys could wait a week or two. You'll be all right. You'll take my money when I bring it in. Sure. So don't worry about the first and foremost, don't worry about the shit talkers. I mean, there's haters out there. It's because you're doing things right and they're jealous. You got to find a way to just go deaf to this stuff.
Absolutely.
Where you don't hear it. You did the beginning of that question though was about balance, right?
Yes, getting lost in the sauce, caught up in the mix. Being young and is good looking. I'm sure you were much more better looking than you were than you are now, but
Hey, buddy. Hey. I'm like a fine wine, dude.
yeah,
I'm working on this look.
yeah,
No, so I honestly, man, when I was young, I was wild. There was no balance. There's still no balance. I mean, my balance is not textbook. My wife works with me. She's been working with me for 5+ years. We have our own balance that we're good with, but by like textbook standards, I am wildly unbalanced. I work a long work week. I can't pull 100 hour work weeks, but I pull 75-hour work weeks. I'm doing big things. I'm running, 4 companies. I'm building software. I'm the chief architect in that process. I have to basically find hours that don't exist in a day to juggle all of my things. I can't say what works for me is what's going to work for other guys, but for 21 years, and I'm trying to control myself now so I don't drop dead of a heart attack, is to try to purposely slow down. But for me, and the way my brain is wired, there's no such thing as tempering my pace. I work like a lunatic to get everything I have and everything I wanted. It was wildly unbalanced. And I was single into my 30s. I mean, I dated. I had a lot of girlfriends and stuff, but into my late 30s, I didn't like get married and have a child until I was 37. And even that was like scared me because I'm like, but my crazy pace. So what I would do is work, like I said, 100 hours. I worked day and night, got 5-6 hours of sleep, and I'd party hard on the weekends. I would take trips. I had money in my pocket. I would go hard with the boys. I traveled for college football. One thing that did slow me down and save me, and I think it's just a kind of maturity as you start getting older. I had all kinds of crazy cars, BMW M5, M3. I had every friggin' model of car. I mean, I had Mercedes. I had all kinds of crazy cars and traveled like all over the world. But what saved me, I think, was getting back to rugby. I was in and out of. I wrestled through high school. Sports was always a salvation for me. I was a varsity wrestler through high school. It's a good program here where I'm from. And then I played D1 college rugby. As a wrestler, I walk right on the team. I'll take anybody down. I tackle anybody on that goddamn field. Didn't matter. I was the best tackler on the team. And then I played men's club, but I left it alone because my knees, I started ripping up my knees. But then I went back to rugby about 27, and I was full blast with work, but I had to now discipline myself. I couldn't work as many hours, and I couldn't party as hard on the weekends with the boys because I had to train. We were training 3 days a week, and then on Saturdays we would travel all over the East Coast to play D1 men's club rugby. So that kind of like reeled me in a little bit. But that was wild in of itself. Like that's unbalanced in of itself. Who does that? Who travels?
yeah,
I have a full-time job. I'm not a professional athlete, but we acted like we were. So I mean, still unbalanced in the sense that I work crazy hours. My wife is accepting. My wife is amazing. She really is. She supports me. I mean, we don't always get along about it, but like at the end of the day, she gets it. She lets me roll. The balance we find is we travel. We go to Maui and Honolulu, and we take exotic trips. We're in Mexico a couple times a year. We balance it with like supreme luxury for the kids and for us. And we live for that. We live for experiences. We live for life. I really, truly, and all these, anybody that's a guru will tell you, oh, sacrifice now so that you could have the good life later. I'm still chasing that. I have a great life. I make great money, but I'm very, very close now at 48 to sort of hanging up the pouches. I don't install, but like selling off the businesses, the home improvement businesses, and rolling on the software side. Gutter App is, man, wait till you guys see Gutter App. Holy cow. But that's where I'm headed. So to me, the only way I could do it, I don't think I'm bright enough, right? So I have to work my ass off to compensate. Some of these whiz kids, they work a 5 hour day and they pull this shit off in 5 years. I'm 21 years in. I'm on a very nice pace to make big, big things where life changing, and I don't have to work if I don't want to. But I had to like sacrifice everything to do it. If you don't have the heart or the discipline for it, don't do it, because it'll wear you down to a nub. I had 2 knees replaced in the last 2 years. I have a hip that's 5 years old. Um, I have all my lower lumbar. I have herniations 4 in a row. I mean, I've broken this hand. I had terrible rotator cuff surgery on this. I killed myself. I did things to, between rugby and running as a contractor and just not taking care of myself because I was working crazy hours. I'm paying the price, but I would never do it any other way. But that's me. Some other guys, a health coach might say, "You're out of your mind, man. Your cortisol levels are through the roof. What are you doing? That's so unhealthy." Hey, this is what I needed to do for me. So everybody, I would say, choose your own adventure. For me, it's like a drug, man. This is everything to me. To
Absolutely.
run like this, I couldn't be any other way. If I try to dumb this down, I'll quit. I don't want to do it anymore. I like to be out of control,
Absolutely. Yep, I feel you on that. Uh, fourth down. Here we go.
This is it. Do or
This
die.
is, this is most important. Just for me, and I'm sure a lot of others out there as well. But how did you and what did you do to lose the chasing tail mindset? And what was the best way you could completely remove the instant gratifying thoughts of wanting some new ass?
Amazing question. I love this. Wow. Nobody's asked me this live on camera.
It's hot.
Happy to answer, man. I mean, you're 25, man. I remember when I was 25. To answer your question, I honestly, in hindsight, I could kind of give it to you in a hindsight answer at 48. Now I'm fixed. I don't know. It was like 2 years ago. My wife's like, "Dude, no more kids." I have three kids of my own. I have a stepson. We decided no more children like 2 years ago. So I got the boys cut. Um, I mean, it doesn't change your drive and desire and your activity level, but I can no longer conceive children, right? Or without reversing that. But I had no interest in doing so until like my late 30s. I just was so focused on business. I would run around and I had a hell. I mean, man, I've done it all. There's nothing that I want for. I've done it all, experienced it all. And, life is good, and it has been. And I have sweet, sweet memories in the banks, right, in my brain. But you kind of, for me, the way I ran it was I just ran hard and did whatever I wanted until I sort of shook it all out of me. And then at some point, and I know you're a dad now, but at some point, this like higher thinking came over me in my late 30s. It just kind of hit me where I was like, okay, now is time to raise a family and kind of settle down. And honestly, I'll tell you, if we get real raw, I mean, you're talking about Tinder. I was on Bumble and Tinder. I was running on all that stuff. You get to a point, and I'm in a high population area where you run through that whole damn app, bro. There's just no more on there. So what are you gonna do? You kind of like swipe your thumb off. At some point, you met all the girls, and you go out on dates, and they know all the girls you're on the dates with. You kind of wear yourself thin. And it gets old. It does get old.
What's next?
Yeah, it's just, it does get old in the sense that you wear yourself thin, and, it's funny how that works though, right? Like as men, as the animalistic element of being a man, that testosterone pumping through your blood, it's grass. The grass is always greener, right? When you have it, you don't want it. And then when you don't have it, you're like, oh man, I want to settle down. But I did get this real fatherly wave that hit me in my 30s, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I think that's, where my first child, my oldest daughter, how that came about. It wasn't an accident. I mean, I knew what I was doing. It wasn't like I knew what was going on. So, but look, dude, I'm still a man. I still have desires.
Yeah.
I'm happily married. I have a phenomenal wife. Second time's a charm, and she treats me well. You got to really find a woman that supports your dreams and takes care of you in the bedroom, if that's what you're asking, and you find a balance. But look, we're human creatures, right? And with Instagram and all these photos in our face 24/7, we have these desires, right? Are you ever truly satisfied? We're insatiable. That's what we are. We're creatures. At the end of the day, we're just animals. We just talk well and we know how to read books. We could read and write and articulate a little bit better than a monkey, but we're still raw animals at the end of the day. So, I mean, I have good friends. I have good family. I have a phenomenal wife. You get to this level when you start, hitting your older days where my parting advice: get it out of your system now. Go out and have as much goddamn fun as you can for 15 years. Go nuts, go bananas, so that when you're 48 and sitting in my shoes, you can look back and go, I did it all. There's really nothing on that bucket list I didn't hit. I'm good. Like, I'm good. I feel good. I'm confident. I could be around beautiful women and go, whatever, been there. Why? Tell me, are you having a hard time with it, brother, or what?
Yeah, that's that.
You
Not
have a beautiful girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, yeah, she's an angel, man. Props to her for sticking and riding it out this long. Because I'm a dumbass sometimes, but in all reality, I'm still young, I'm still hungry, and I want it all. And when you want it all, there's good cake and there's bad cake.
Well, we want to try the bad cake too. I understand.
Yeah. We want to know it's bad, and
Spit
so
it out.
trying to stay on task, staying focused, because in all reality, when you're chasing tail like that, it can really, really consume your mental thoughts and your vision, and it won't align with it. And not only that, you may run into someone that wants you for what you got and not for what you.
This is true. This is true. Like they tell boxers, right? I mean, I that probably
Yeah,
a lot of guys probably still do abide by it, but when you go into camp, right, to train 6 months or something, they're telling them stay away from women.
Yeah, build it up.
I would say go have as much fun with women as you can, and then settle down when it's time to settle down. But don't let it get in the way of your business, and certainly don't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah,
Like my buddy tells his kids, and I laugh every time I hear him say he's an attorney, and he talks very proper to his young children. He says, "Let's make good choices. Make good choices." And that's really it's the answer to life. Just make good choices, but have a goddamn good time, though.
absolutely.
Well, that was a great question, man. That you hit me out of left field with that one.
Yeah, try to go personal business.
I love it. All right, man. What's next for you? What are you doing for the holidays? What's coming up?
A bunch of family time. I'll take a ski trip right before Christmas. I'll get back in the saddle. Actually, sometime in early January, I'm headed up to Michigan to see Mr. Cullen.
Cool.
And I'm going to go cash out on a 7-inch K-style machine.
Amazing. Are you doing what element of Collins program are you doing?
I'm just going to buy his machine.
Oh, okay. He's got it earmarked for you. Sit and wait.
Yeah, I'm not signed up with anything. I'm not in the not to speak bad on anything. I don't need it. I've got my resources elsewhere.
Sure.
And I can only speak for what I know, what I've experienced, and that's making the connections with the people. I don't think it's necessary to sign up for programs or stuff like that.
Fair enough.
You got to figure it out.
We see you at GutterCon this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I didn't go the last what is this, year 4 or year 3?
Year 4.
Year 4, yeah. I didn't go the last 2 years.
I know it. I didn't see you there.
I'm hoping to.
I'll be there in a big way this year, so we'll powwow. We'll definitely break some bread while we're there.
Absolutely.
Awesome, dude.
Cool, man. I super appreciate you.
Yeah, ditto, man. Thanks for your time.